Fireside chat guarding customer trust, ensuring data privacy every step of the way. Please welcome our moderator to the stage with a round of applause, Gaurav Khera, partner, Deloitte India. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Khera. Sir, I request you to please take the seat in the center. And let's put our hands together for our panelists, Basil Dange, CISO, Aditya Birla Sunlife Mutual Funds, and Baidyanath Kumar, CISO, JK Lakshmi Cement Limited. Let's put our hands together, please, for Mr. Baidyanath Kumar, CISO, JK Lakshmi Cement Limited. He will join us in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Khera, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure. Thank you. Well, a difficult session after lunch. A very good afternoon to all of you. And hopefully we'll keep it interesting. So Basil's here. Baidya will
keep it short.
And we'll try and keep it short. Yeah, the timer is already on, right? And we're talking about gaining customer trust, ensuring data privacy every step of the way, right? I mean, I've been here for some time and was hearing some of the sessions which have been conducted so far. Pretty interesting, where we're talking about customer experience. We're talking about how we gain insights into what the customer is doing, what the customer is saying, what their behaviors are, and based on that, what is it that can be done. But the topic that we have then actually goes in an exactly opposite manner, that how do you gain the trust when, and especially when it comes to the subject of data privacy, right? Because when we're talking about data privacy, we are actually saying that you cannot really use the data of the customer. Well, is that right? Is that wrong? I think that's what we will talk about. Privacy is an interesting subject. I mean, if I look at it from the Indian perspective, I think, and I truly believe that we as Indians are very affable, right? You travel in a flight, or say you travel in a train from here to Delhi, and then overnight we have made friends with our fellow passengers. We've exchanged phone numbers, we've exchanged family histories, or you walk into a mall, someone says, sir, there's a free gift we are offering, and lo and behold, we have given our phone numbers and email addresses, and then a week later or 10 days later, you get a call and saying, sir, we're offering this membership, or this insurance product is there, or anything, and we're like, you know what, oh, I'm sure the bank would have given our data, or the telecom company must have given our data, right? But we forget that it's us as individuals who might have given our data. So privacy is an interesting concept. It's a culture that we all need to build upon. So that's what we'll try and say. We'll talk about that. How do we build the customer trust while ensuring that the privacy is there? And probably, Basil, I'll bang upon you. I'll start with you, especially since you're in the financial services. What's your experience been?
Thank you, Gaurav. Good afternoon, all. Being from the BFSI, so we have a lot of customers' data, and customer trust us, because if they don't trust, we'll not able to get that kind of business what we are getting as of now. So that is one of the area, because customer is sharing a lot of data, their personal informations, like their family informations. And looking at the DPDP, which is Government of India has just released a law last year. So looking at that compliance with respect to those guidelines as well as the regulatory guidelines, there are a lot of security measures or controls which are implemented by the organization, especially because BFSI, we normally say, okay, they have a lot of critical data, but it's not like that. Even the medical field, which we have seen, okay, they have a lot of critical data around there. So all the organizations, whether it be from the BFSI or for the medical field, they are trying to protect the organization data, because no one wants their data to be published. Like yesterday, I was reading an article. We were saying, okay, somewhere around 3 million of the Indian data was leaked over the dark web. Okay, now if that data are being used by attacker, they can do a lot of things. Like they already have our PAN number, they have passport numbers, they have our mobile number. They can do a lot of damage to the customers. So this become extremely crucial for us. So whenever we are collecting a data, we should collect only that set of data which is required for the organizations to process. So it should not that, okay, as you were rightly sharing, we Indians are oversharing every time. Like तुम मेरे को नाम पूछो, मैं तुमको घर का एड्रेस भी बता दूंगा, कौन से फ्लोर पे रहता हो भी बता दूंगा. So it's like our habit, because if you go similar to Europe, their people are very reserved. So they don't share that kind of data. But as an Indian, we share a lot of data. So that is one of the, I think, awareness we as an Indian we should be having. So whenever we are becoming customers to any organizations, we also need to know, okay, this is the set of data which we can share. Because no organization will say, okay, you don't share this kind of data. But yeah, we should be also aware, okay, this is the limit set of data which we'll be sharing. You should not ask more data from us. Like if you go to PVR, they will not they will ask your mobile number. So those days are gone when the people used to like nahi dena hai mere ko mobile number. But now we are sharing those information with it. So we should be also aware, okay, this data we should not share. And apart from that, it's become organizational responsibility to protect the data what has been available from the customers to them.
Sure, I think rightly said. Gone are those days when you would walk into someone and when you could share the data. I mean, you look at it, every alternate day we would have some article saying that some kind of a fraud has happened, and especially the mobile number has become a key source. It's become a key identifier, right? At the end of the day, the concept of privacy is where you can identify an individual. So it's important that we understand what we are sharing, and as organizations we protect what is the data that comes to us. So I'll probably come to you, Baidya. What's been your experience? How is it that you are managing privacy or maintaining customer data in your organization?
Yeah, I think when we talk about data privacy, right, this is something which is the need of the hour. And I think if you see, talk about the GDPR, CCPA, so most of the countries are already having their privacy laws and regulations. Now, in India also, it was something which was very mandatory. And the way we are focusing on cybersecurity controls, data privacy has to be there also. So we always talk about security by design. What about the privacy by design? So those considerations are very important, and it's not about only BFSI or healthcare sector. All the sectors are collecting a lot of PII data. Let me tell you about the manufacturing industry also. For example, if I am coming from cement manufacturing company or tire, paper, JK is something dealing with all those things. So we used to collect even the PAN card. We used to collect the driving license, but we forgot that these are not as critical as that, because these are the equally critical, because you have your logistics teams, you have the driving licenses as part of that. Human resources is something which is critical in all the sector. You can't say that BFSI is having some set of important data, and even particularly talking about healthcare sector, right? PHI, they are dealing with the PHI, but the data sensitivity is important in all the sectors. This is something which we have to understand, and then we have to look into all sort of privacy by design framework, because if you see this privacy framework itself, DPDPA, this is excellently talking about all sort of digital data protection first. Okay, it's not about the offline data which is getting collected and all. If it is getting later digitized also, the law is applicable. Now, even the 7 key principles, if you see, the fundamentally the key takeaways in terms of the overall act, it talks about storage limitation, purpose limitation, accountability, reasonable safeguards, security safeguards. These are very important things. When you are building the security systems, you have to talk about the privacy things and all. And obviously, we are still waiting for data protection board yet to be formalized. And the second thing is the rules, which is important thing that is yet not in the public announcement. But yes, the organizations have to start looking into that. At least they need to enhance their security posture, because cyber security breaches should not be happening. Because till the time rules are not there, but we need to prepare, because we need to talk to our HOD, need to educate them that what these things are demanding. Because, for example, my insurance company is dealing with a lot of data, PIA data. They need to talk to even the TPA of the healthcare sector, and even the employees, then insurance providers, to all these things. So important is that we need to understand whatever the data collection touch points are there, and then how you are doing the overall data classification in a company. And then, so currently we have implemented all those things, and we are progressing well on our data protection journey. And we want to get it implemented once the rules are in terms of the consent management is important. Then how you are going to work on the data principal rights and all those things. These are very pertinent things. And then all the companies and all the organizations have to look into that. This is very important.
No, absolutely. I think very well said. I mean, pick up any privacy regulation globally. It does not prohibit you from collecting any data, right? You can collect as much data as you want. You can do whatever business process that you need to do. Just that you need to specify the purpose to the customer or the individual, and you need to take the consent, and then have reasonable security safeguards to be able to manage that particular data. Now, having said all of that, obviously in today's world, we are moving towards a culture where we recognize the importance of data. How do we kind of manage the balance? What's been your experience? Because the business would want all sorts of data, whereas we have the regulator, which is saying that you need to have those safeguards. So how do you manage the balance at your end, Basil?
Yeah. Basically, we have changed the head. Now we are no more called only as a technology guys. We are also talking to business, because now we are contributing to the business. Like, if we are collecting this set of data, because I was talking to my business, okay, this is a set of data what we are capturing. Why can't we use this information for increasing the portfolio or for getting the new schemes for the particular segments? So now we are also helping them, because we know, okay, this is a set of data, because anyhow business will collect that data even if we say no. But now we are guiding them how to use this data efficiently, and probably what is a better way where we will be able to safeguard, because that is also one of the key area what we are seeing is a part of shadow ID. Like, in case if you're not allowing them business to host the data within your data center or within your environment, then probably they will hire some third party where they'll be hosting the data. So you have to be in so close coordination with the business. Okay, you know what is happening within the organizations. So because finally, in case if there is any breach, then it will be coming back to you as an impact, because no one will say, okay, business has taken this kind of shadow IT as a service, but you cannot take, or you cannot consider this as a scapegoat, and then don't take a responsibility of that, because finally it is a brand which is getting impacted, and everyone is equally responsible for that.
Sure. I think rightly said, and Baidya, probably I'll come to you with as he mentioned that at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, it's the organization whose reputation goes for a toss, right? So how do you create that culture within the organization that, you know, security is important, privacy is important, because at the end of the day, the customer will come to you only if they know that they are in safe hands.
Yeah, so yeah, this is very pertinent question and topic of discussion also, because when we talk about creating the right set of balances, and now in manufacturing sector, if you see, cybersecurity itself is a concern, and now on top of that, when we are talking about data privacy, right? So I think the way I look into it, so it has to be a boardroom agenda. So first of all, it has to be driven from the top-down approach, and you need to foster a cybersecurity culture itself, and where the data privacy with all the HODs and the stakeholders are very important pointers of discussion. In the boardroom agenda itself, there is some sort of discussions on cyber risk. Along with that, privacy risk has also need to be discussed. And when your CFOs, CEOs, all the business heads are aligned with that, then it will automatically getting percolated to the downstream also. And it is very important you even Basil talked about that how that culture need to be inculcated. So important is that you need to derive the framework where you are talking to all your HODs to make them understand what are the data collection touch points and how they are processing their data. The second thing is the important factor. If you see, the whole liability lies with the fiduciary itself, because if no matter how you are processing or involving third parties to process your data, then also the liability and the background that you know, that how, for what time you have to and even what set of data is required. If a certain set of data is not required also, why we are collecting that data? So there will be always a question on what data set we are collecting. Are we need to process all those data, and what is the even storage limitation also, and purpose limitation? So those all important things have to be factored upon, and that's why the consultation with the business functions is very important. Once they understand their priorities, because your marketing team is doing a lot of campaigns where they are dealing with the data. Even the sales team is talking to a lot of loyalty programs, and as part of that, they are collecting the data. When we talk about even the center of excellence teams also. So these days, only the CEOs and the business teams need to look into the business, how we are going to thrive on the business perspective. But what about the security controls and the data protection controls? So the important thing is to foster a culture where all are equally contributing to the success of the program, and that's the way I have driving this thing.
Yeah, just want to add, Baidyanath, like people, as organizations, we are also trying to do as a risk quantification. We are trying to bind the commercial impact. What will be the commercial impact in case of this is a data breach? Because we already know, okay, maximum is it's a 650 crores, which is a penalty which can be put to the company. But apart from that, there are a lot of other impacts also which we foresee, like in case if the brand value get impacted, because the main business what we are getting is based on the trust. So like in case if the customer lose their trust, then nothing can be done to repair those kind of damage, or the financial impact of those things cannot be considered. So that's the reason we also trying to do a risk quantification, where we are trying to use all these parameters and try to see or to arrive at the number which can be communicated back to the respective stakeholders while they're collecting the data, and sensitizing them on the security piece as well.
Absolutely. I think building that culture and having that risk quantification is important. And I think you look at Apple. Apple, all the billboards and all the advertisements talk about that your data is private to you. So that actually talks about that how much customers value privacy. We're at the fag end, so probably 30 seconds from your side. Culture and all is important, but tools and technologies, do you think that can go help us in this journey of privacy?
Yeah, definitely. Tools are required, because unless, as Beth was telling, like unless you know what is the kind of data, you don't do the tagging for this data, you'll not able to protect. You cannot protect what you can't see, what we normally used to say in the security firm as well. So that's the reason that technology will always play a key role, but at the same time, people and process also need to be aligned or designed in such a way that they will be able to contribute to the technology, so that can be used in efficiently.
Sure. Any
Yeah. So
last
before
thoughts?
coming to the privacy enhancing technologies, the important is to do the thorough privacy risk assessment, because without doing, even in cybersecurity, what we talk about directly, we don't jump to implement the solution. You need to understand the business context, then do the thorough risk analysis, cyber risk quantification, and then you look into how you're going to burn down your cyber risk. The same way is going into privacy also. You need to classify your data, understand what are the collection touch points, and then you need to do the data mapping completely, talk to your HODs and business functions, and then you have to develop a plan to, let's suppose encryption is required. What set of data need to be encrypted? Am I going to encrypt the complete database tables? Not possible. So need to understand that how we can enhance the privacy by implementing the right set of technologies, and at the same time, breach notification and the other things are important, like for example, data subject rights, and when we are developing the consent management platform. So it is something which is a technical thing which need to be developed. But the important is that when you are developing the consent management platform, the challenges lies in the implementation also, because you have to follow those 22 languages guidelines as per the section 8A of the constitution. So those all things need to be imbibed. We need to think, because somebody, you are making some privacy clause in the English language, so, and later on user can refute that, why you have not made it available in my language. So a lot of challenges, implementation technologies, everything has to be considered to make a solution.
Well, thanks, Baidya, thanks, Basil. I think the topic that we had is a huge one, and we can continue debating it for a very, very long time. But yeah, summarizing, I think building the customer trust is very, very important. As Baidya said, that privacy by design as a concept is something which we could look at embracing in everything we do. It has to be a culture which has to be developed within the ecosystem. So be it the organization, be it the partners, be it the customers, everyone needs to understand the importance of privacy. We need to keep a balance between securing the data, between privacy and obviously the end business objective. But at the end of the day, I think all of us do recognize that this is the need of the hour. The regulations are there. Customers are getting more and more aware. So I think the sooner organizations embark upon that journey, doing the data discovery, doing the inventories, having the consents, I think the better it would be for them. So thank you so much, Basil. Thank you, Baidya. I think great discussions. And thank you to the audience for being patient with us. I don't know if we have time for questions.
I think not actually. I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah, that's not a problem. I hope people are not sleeping at the back. Or did you check? Well,
No, I think
did
it was
we-
a very engaging conversation, so
Thank
I'm
you.
sure they were not sleeping. Right, ladies and gentlemen, can we make some noise to show them that you all really enjoyed this fireside chat? Thank you, Mr. Dange, Mr. Kumar, and of course, Mr. Khera. Thank you so much.